with the Most High God. We'll talk a little bit about this ceasefire or this pause, whatever they call it, in Palestine. We're also going to be talking about Demetrius Andrade versus David Benavidez, some of the interesting things about this fight. Uh, we're also going to talk about Jamel Charlo versus Jose Benavidez Jr. So we'll talk about all of that coming right up now. First of all, I have to start off with a piece of scripture. So here we go. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 says, "At that time, Michael the archangel, who stands guard over your nation, will rise. Then there will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. But at that time, every one of your people whose name is written in the book will be rescued. Many of those bodies lie dead and buried will rise up, some to everlasting life, and some to condemnation. Those who are wise will shine as bright as the sun in the sky, and those who turn many to righteousness will shine like stars forever. But you, Daniel, keep this prophecy a secret and seal up the book until the end. Many will rush here and there, and knowledge will increase." Blessings be to the Most High God. Peace to the Most High God. What I just read there tells us that death is not the end. You know, it's not the end. There's a little something extra that comes after death. And it's based on your character. It's based on who you are. It's based on the work you have done. I want to advocate to each and every one of you guys that you strive to better humanity. Now let's get into this Israeli-Palestine thing. So we're right now in a sort of ceasefire. The Israelis sprayed down the Palestinians who decided to move back north to their homes with bullets. The savagery continues, the genocide continues. And it's vexing because to see human beings treated like cattle, to see human beings herded into a very confined space, no food, no water, no nothing. To know that all of this oppression that is happening is as a result of a resistance that in no way matches the oppression that's happening. To have people who you call terrorists freeing hostages, where every single terror act that the Palestinians have done, that is to say Hamas, Israel has just outdone them, right? Israel captured so many young people in the West Bank and have them imprisoned. Killed so many of them. In Gaza, same thing. Even though they're in the occupation, they've killed a lot of young people. Okay? They've allowed the settlers to kill people, shoot them. All of the settlers, unarmed people. Most they can do is get rocks, get some fire, put it inside of a bottle and toss it. Call it a Molotov cocktail with kerosene. They have taken away water, food, everything. They put Gaza under siege. Okay. You have to ask yourself, and they say they don't occupy territory. You have to ask yourself, why such injustices? Why such oppression? And don't tell me terrorism, because these people, all they have at their disposal, most Palestinians are not armed. So here you are attacking and bombing the daylights out of unarmed people, civilians, most of whom are not involved in military action. If they were, think about this. If Palestine was military, if Palestine was a strong supporter of Hamas, wouldn't they be where Hamas is? They wouldn't be above ground, they'd be below ground. Think about it. You've bombed all the institutions. Then you've targeted and bombed the press, the medical staff. You've bombed all the important services, all the utilities. And then after all of that, you talk about terrorists. Nobody wants to hear that. The world doesn't want to hear you. Almost anyone who has seen any images of what has happened is disgusted with what they're seeing. And the spineless authorities, even though I've been speaking to them, they're moving very, very slowly. The Security Council should have been already put planes down there. Should have put planes on the ground, in the air, sorry, flying overhead over Palestine and saying there's a no-fly zone there. They should have established a no-fly zone over Palestine already. And any Israeli jet or aircraft should have been shut down. And this should have been agreed on by all nations in the United Nations. Okay? On the ground, there should have been UN troops on the ground already, monitoring what's happening with the allies and so on, and protecting the civilians. Okay? Every single kind of sanction you could put on Israel should have been slapped on them already. The oil that flows into their country should have been stopped by Turkey. And there's Turkey and Lebanon. They should have stopped that already. Azerbaijan should have said, no more oil for you. We know the U.S. wouldn't withdraw funding for Israel, but quite frankly, every other nation should have done like South Africa, moved out all their diplomats, cut all diplomatic ties, put a trade embargo on Israel until they cease fire, until they comply with every single international law that has been put on them. That includes withdrawal of settlers from the settlements in the West Bank, in Hebron, in the northern part of Israel, withdrawal of all troops and all military and all settlers from around Gaza and in Gaza. They have not found any key people of Hamas. They have not found any key headquarters of Hamas. They're just moving around in the north, causing quite a lot of destruction. They need to do immediate withdrawal. Hamas is supposed to surrender all of the hostages immediately. UN supplies and UN humanitarian relief should be brought directly into Gaza with immediate effect. A salvaging team should be able to go amongst the ruins in the north and start retrieving, and wherever rescue groups can rescue whoever they try to rescue. This is what's supposed to be happening, because Israel has created a lot of damage in Gaza, and this damage is unnecessary. It's proven to be fruitless, and has been international war crimes. Israel should be on the banned list, period. No citizen of Israel should be able to travel into any country. All their visas should be revoked. There should be a travel ban on anybody inside of Israel. In other words, the same things they're doing to Gaza, the world should be doing to them. You do unto others as you like to be done unto you. The world should have no pity on Israel, none, because they're getting back their hostages. Now, with respect to war crimes, it was a criminal act that Hamas did on November the 7th. So, whatever members of Hamas that carried out a directive that kills civilians, they should be tried in a court of law. Okay? Nobody's saying no. But to do that, you have to do an investigation. To do that investigation, you have to have intel. To do that intel, you have to know where Hamas is. So the approach that Israel took was savage, fruitless, ineffective, and on top of that, just criminal. And to tell me that because somebody did a criminal act, you do more of a criminal act, you do 10 times the criminal act that the person did, is no justification. Netanyahu has to go. Yair Lapid, he should replace him. The leader of the opposition should replace him, who was the former PM. And immediately, Israel should work on peace. Everything else is not a priority. Peace talks. Me personally, I would like to see a one-state solution, but it's really up to the Palestinians. It's really up to the leadership. I've been campaigning for not only a ceasefire, which we've gotten sort of like a ceasefire, a 4-day break, a pause. They're talking about bombing again. United Nations, Antonio Guterres, please ensure that you have the United Nations Security Council approve a military presence in Palestine, in Gaza, in fact, in the West Bank and in Gaza. And if Israel resists, then on behalf of all nations of the world, you bring in that security presence. Whether if Russia wants to add its planes, bring in Russia. Bring you know what? No, no, don't let Russia do anything. But let it be under the banner of the United Nations. If China wants to donate stuff to equipment to the United Nations, if the European Union wants to donate equipment to the United Nations, equip the United Nations with the approval of the Security Council to go in there as a presence, as a deterrent presence, so that Israel does not enforce anything. If the United States decides to stand up against the United Nations presence, then it's fair game for all countries of the world, not only to denounce what the United States is doing, but to immediately, with extreme intent, attack the United States troops and army and military bases in the Middle East and Israel. Everybody. Okay? Because the it's going to be a bluff, and they'll call the bluff. Okay? Because the United Nations must be respected. There are 190 something countries that make up the United Nations. And if there's a resolution by either the Security Council or the United Nations, if there's even a majority vote, the United States will need to back the hell down, cease and desist, because the world is judging Israel. Get out the way. So that's what we got to say. We've been pushing and campaigning for certain initiatives and so on. KP from KC, what's up, my brother? KP from KC says Benavidez is horrible with footwork. KP from KC says, I got boo-boo by decision just like you. He's going to turn Benavidez and pot shot him all night. Yeah, I mean, the thing about boo-boo is what a lot of people are underestimating my boy KP from KC. Boo-boo has power. I don't know why David Benavidez thinks that boo-boo doesn't have power. I watched boo-boo cracking the punching bag. And boy, he got pop. And he got speed with the pop. So if like Boo Boo wants him to run into something, he really wants to get him to run into something, because as he gets aggressive, he's gonna walk right into something. It happened with Ronald Gavril, and I think he might get caught. Because and then there's another thing about Demetrius Andrade that a lot of people don't realize. Demetrius Andrade cuts so many different angles. He can cut an angle. I remember how he knocked down a very strong fighter in the African fighter that he faced. I think it was he was going for the vacant 160-pound title. And he's fighting a very strong African fighter. And man, he caught that guy. So we thought that fella went to sleep. The guy was so strong, he got back up. You know what I mean? And actually, I can find the fighter for you. Let me go find the fighter. I'm going to tell you who it is. Boo Boo may get a flash knockdown early too. This fight could be like Bud versus Errol or Mosley versus Margarito. Yeah, bro. They don't know. They don't know Andrade. They don't know Andrade. Andrade is a beast. He a beast. He's a different breed. I'll tell you what fight it was. The guy was strong. It was a big, strong African fighter, and he just kept coming. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you KP from KC. Okay. I got it right here. In front of me. Boo Boo will always fool you because he seems to be so lighthearted, and he jokes around a lot, but they don't know, man. Boo Boo ain't no joke. You remember Willie Nelson, who upsetted I forgot what the guy who beat he beat Jamel Charlo. I forgot what his name is right now. I'll tell you. I don't see it. That's a pity. Anyway, Willie Nelson, he beat the guy name. I can't remember the guy name right now. It's all good though. Right. He fought Walter uh Kautong Do Kautong Doka or whatever his name was. Real strong guy, African guy. You know, be knocking out everybody. Boo Boo, I mean Boo Boo put him down hard. Put him down hard. KP from KC said he gonna punch around that high guard all night. Benavidez' only shot is coming forward and wearing him down. Willie Nelson got torched by Boo Boo, and he had Tony Harrison. That's the name, Tony Harrison. Yeah, man. Look. Boo Boo be cracking, man. I was watching him do his thing in the gym, and Boo Boo big. I didn't know Boo Boo was so big. Boo Boo's huge. His back is like tremendously huge. Walter Dokwa. Walter Okondokwa. I forgot where he's from. I think he's from Ghana. That ninja's strong. That ninja hasn't lost a fight since he got beat by Demetrius Andrade. Andrade is a bad boy. I don't care what nobody say. He a bad boy. Yeah, the problem's not necessarily the footwork of when I say footwork, I mean David Benavidez has good footwork. Okay, he's sneaky with how he throws his shots. You know, he doesn't telegraph his shots. He just throws them off. He's sneaky with the shot selection. He's quick with his hands. He throws multiple punches, but he don't really have one hitter quitter power. He doesn't have that. He's big though, you know. The thing about this fight, I think it comes down to is, and a lot of people just really don't understand. Boo Boo's feet, kind of like when you think of Regis Prograis, Rougarou versus Devin Haney, it's going to come down to KP Fonseca says he crosses his feet a lot and he squares up. Well, he will square up because he's a pressure fighter, so he has to cut off the ring. So that's not, all those things are not really problems. He doesn't cross. I don't see him cross his feet. What I see him do is he'll angle in to come at you, and he has a really good jab. But the problem with him is it's not that he has bad footwork, it's that his feet are too slow. His feet are too slow. He's explosive. Don't get me wrong. He's explosive. He's quick. He's quick. But like Canelo, he don't really have that foot cardio. You know what I mean? He don't really have that foot cardio. He's not a B-Vol. Like you said, yeah. When he gets to 175, B-Vol and Benavidez going to wreck Benavidez. Right. So B-Vol would box rings around Benavidez because B-Vol, again, that footwork. And Andrade's the same thing. Even though Andrade won't be moving excessively around the ring as a lot of people think. He's going to be in the area. He's just going to step around him. You know, when you watch what Crawford did to Errol, Crawford was moving excessively around the ring. So I don't expect Demetrius Andrade to move, especially around the ring. And let me tell you something else that's going to surprise everybody. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. What's going to surprise everybody is that the one who's going to be doing the boxing more in this fight is going to be David Benavidez, because David Benavidez is not that effective going backwards. He's not really putting hands on people when he's going backwards. And I truly believe Demetrius Andrade is going to push him backwards and make him have to box. Andrade's going to be the one mauling him. Andrade's going to be the one dogging his ass. And that's going to shock everybody. You know, because once Benavidez feels Andrade's power, because he's thinking there's a smaller guy coming up. He thinks Andrade don't really punch. He don't sustain his power. But he don't understand. Andrade put down that African dude that I just said. He put him down twice in the fight. Twice. Right? I think he put him down the first time. He knocked him down. We thought the guy was out. And then he put down the guy again later on in the fight. Andrade carries his power to the end. And Andrade's going to be in shape. He's going to be motivated for this fight. This is his opportunity of a lifetime. He might be 35 years old, but he's chomping at the bit for this. So it's going to be, I like David Benavidez, but like you said, David Benavidez don't know what he's getting himself into. He really have no idea, you know. And it's just what it is. Styles make fights, and his style is tailor made for Demetrius Andrade. You know, it's tailor made. So You know, it's your boy's time. It's Andre's time. It's been a long time in coming, and this is his time to shine. Uh, but David Benavidez is a good fighter. Don't get it wrong. He's tough. I'm pretty sure Andre not necessarily going to stop him, but what will happen is it's very possible he may drop him. You know, and if Benavidez goes in there, he's going to be careful. He's going to stay behind his jab, whatever. But he's going to get caught. Andre is going to catch him. Andre is definitely going to catch him. And we'll see how he responds to that. I know Benavidez is going to be in real good shape. But Boo Boo is not somebody to sleep on. Benavidez is going to realize you got to stay alert all the time. You make one mistake in there against Andrade, you're going to pay. Andrade going to make you pay. Okay? So if you think you just going to go in there, go behind your jab and steamroll him, Andrade got all kinds of weird angles, all kinds of weird shots. He going to catch you with all kind of weird shit. And when he catches you, especially if you're being aggressive and he baits you into a trap and you're overly aggressive or you find yourself aggressive and you're open, oh, ninja, he'll light your ass up. You know what I'm saying? You will pay. Andre's a guy that'll make you pay. Andre throws uppercuts from outside too. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, man. There's a lot to talk about, when it comes to Andre. It's unfortunate people haven't seen him, but in this fight, they're definitely going to see what he can do. And I can tell you one thing, this ain't Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's a good fighter and everything. Caleb Plant, though, blows his load early. Andre don't blow his load early, right? Andre's not a guy fighting to the death coming down to the stretch. No. Andre's a different kind of guy. And Andre, if he's comfortably ahead, unfortunately, sometimes he cruises instead of getting the guy out of there, right? But I can tell you this is going to be a good fight. But I already said it. I favor Andre to take the W. I do favor Andre to take the. It's not just about him being more skilled. It's about, every punch has an intention behind it. Everything that is done for a reason, And what people don't realize is Andre throws some nasty body shots. He don't throw body shots a whole lot, but he throws some nasty right hooks to the body. And he throws also some nasty left hooks and straight lefts. He stabs straight left. That's stabbing jab to the body. He throws a really nasty spear jab to the body, to the head as well. And he does also have a shotgun jab. So there's a lot of different tools Andre can use on you. And the thing about Andrade is once he jumps on you, he's jumping on you. Like he's coming at you, So that's something that, David Benavidez and Andrade will be able to test out, feel what David Benavidez' power is. He's going to figure out a couple things, He's going to figure out what he's dealing with. I think he knows already what he's going to deal with in there because he's fought fighters like David Benavidez before several times. And David does have a little bit more finesse. He does box a little bit more too. But if Andre throws that jab to the body, he going to bring Benavidez' hands down and it's over. The thing about Andrade is Andrade can't go head hunting against David Benavidez. David Benavidez has a good chin. So you have to work David Benavidez' body. David Benavidez, I think in exchanges at mid-range, I think he can get, if he can get warmed up at mid-range, he going to be all right. But anything else, Andre can handle on the inside. He can handle from the outside. He can counter him, So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be very, very tricky, But David Benavidez is a big boy, so I don't really see Andre knocking him out. Even though Andre has the power to knock him out, I don't think he's going to knock him out. I think David Benavidez has too much heart, and he's big and strong. He should be able to absorb that punishment, But, I mean, Andre's a different kind of animal, and he's going to know. Caleb Plant's a good stepping stone to Andre, But Andrew's a different animal, and he's going to realize that real quick. Okay? Andre makes adjustments, so it's going to be an interesting fight. I think David Benavidez, I favor Andre to beat David Benavidez all day, every day. All day, every day. It is what it is. I favor Devin Haney to beat Regis Prograis all day, every day. It is what it is. All right. I favor Jamal Charlo to beat Jose Benavidez. It is what it is. Jose too small for him. I know he sparred his bigger brother and all of that, but when you put on 10-ounce gloves, it's different. It's different. Benavidez hasn't fought a southpaw in 7 years. It doesn't matter. It's not so much about the southpaw as it is what Andrade can do. He can do a lot of things. You remember, Andrade is not just a southpaw. He can switch. He can go from southpaw to orthodox. He can fight. He can fight well with either hand. Andrade is like a Terrence Crawford. That's what a lot of people don't realize. So Andrade's going to adopt the stance that he thinks gives him the greatest advantage. So there's all of that. I mean, David's going up against something. He's going up against something. I mean, the winner of this fight is going to be the best 168-pounder in the division, bar none. People say Canelo's the best. Nah. He never faced the best. He never faced David Benavidez. So you can't say he's the best until but Andre's facing David Benavidez. So if Andre beats David Benavidez, then Andre's the best. And if Andre faces Canelo and beats Canelo, which of course that's a guy I think can beat Canelo, he'll be the best guy. So maybe Andre gets his due respect after all these years. He gets it now. Of course, what might happen after this, though, we're not talking about that. We'll wait till the fight transpires tomorrow, and then we'll talk what's next for the both fighters. But David Benavidez is a young fighter anyway, so it doesn't really matter. He's getting experience. He's testing himself out. That's good. You know what I mean? The two boogeymen of the division face each other. That's a great fight right there. I was going to say that I hope that you guys support. I don't know how many of you guys, how you think about seeing dead children, seeing, World Health Organization doctors dying, Doctors Without Borders dying. I don't know how you guys feel about seeing teachers dying and targeted and schools being destroyed and all of that. I don't know how you guys feel about Palestine, but for me, that supersedes everything else, because I think these are atrocities in front of the eyes of the world. And you're trying to tell me Israel's the victim in this whole thing. Come on, man. You can't do that. Can't do that. You want to talk about how Hamas is such a terrorist organization. But you're just wantonly destroying half of Gaza. I can't. And everybody's seeing the truth now about Israel. And it's ugly. It's ugly. Mr. Netanyahu and his regime needs to resign immediately. And Mr. Yair Lapid needs to replace him. He was the former Prime Minister of Israel. I have actual recordings, video recordings, and you can find it on YouTube with Mr. Yetin, with Mr. Netanyahu saying, literally boasting, that he was able to sabotage the accords between Yitzhak Rabin and Mr. Arafat, right? And then, he's proud to say that. You know what I mean? Of course, we all know Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated by his own Israeli people, and that Mr. Netanyahu is not looking for at all peace. He said it right in the United Nations. He said, Israel without Palestine. How can we listen to these kinds of Nazi kind of behavior? This is something you'd expect from Adolf Hitler. You don't expect this stuff from someone in who's supposed to be purporting Western values and democracy. You don't expect that. But fascism comes in all kinds of forms. And so this fascist needs to be removed from power. His fascist establishment needs to be removed from power. the many years of apartheid and the many years of occupying the West Bank, which is Palestinian lands, needs to be immediately reversed because contravenes international law. The siege on Gaza needs to be lifted, and then talks must begin between the Palestinians and the Israelis. A referendum, I prefer for the people to hear what the people have to say, whether it's the Palestinians or the Israelis. A referendum needs to be done. All occupation needs to be ended. I'm going to tell you all something. A lot of people talk about getting rid of Hamas, right? You know how you end up, let's put it this way. You know how you end up reforming Hamas? Because everybody want to talk about Hamas is so evil and blah, blah, blah. Yes, they came from a terrorist background, okay? But when you think about it, why were they doing that? Yes, they come from a foundation where they say, we need to destroy Israel. I heard them. But Hamas has done a lot of things that contradicted what their statements. So, for example, Hamas said they would never get involved in elections, and they ended up in elections. Hamas said they would, destroy Israel from the top to the bottom, and yet they've treated the hostages fairly. They haven't tortured any hostages. Actually, they treat hostages better than the Israelis have been treating the prisoners that have been put into the prisons, the Palestinian prisoners, which are children. All the child might have done was throw a one of those bottles with kerosene in them and flame at a tank or at a police officer, and they got arrested, or they threw rocks at the thing and they got arrested, and they're in jail indefinitely without trial. Okay? And they trump up charges on them and call them attached to Hamas or some jihad or whatever. But the truth be told, there are several Palestinian children and women that have been just arrested. Israelis can just go into, soldiers that is, they can just occupy a Palestinian's house just like that in the West Bank. That's crazy. They can just go in any house. This is craziness, man. They just be destroying settlements. They bulldoze settlements and build houses over just like that. So they shoot Palestinian civilians. If their streets, Palestinians can't go down. What is going on? This is the West Bank. It's supposed to be Palestinian territory. So all I'm saying is they need to sort that shit out. And externally and internationally, we need to put pressure on them. And I encourage each and every one of you guys, especially people from the United States of America, because guess what, people? Your tax dollars, which could have been used to help you, to help schools, to help people, even to help black people get reparations, and the Native Americans get their reparations, and people with what do we call them? Disabilities get funding for their disabilities and scholarship programs and things to facilitate healthcare and food. Instead of that, that money is going to kill people. It's going to weapons to kill people. So if you are an American citizen, you should be very concerned, because those distressing images, if you find they distress you, it's because your money is going to that instead of to what counts in America. And next year is going to be a recession. So because of these freaking wars that don't need to happen, think about it. All that bombing. Show me the top Hamas people they cracked into. Show me the hostages that they've gotten from all that bombing. Show me how they haven't strengthened Hamas by doing this. The only time they make headway is when they're not fighting, when they're negotiating, that Israel's actually made headway. They still don't know where Hamas is. They don't know where their base of operations is. They don't know anything. And Hamas is linked to Hezbollah. That's why when Hamas ceasefire, Hezbollah ceasefire. Because they're both rebels and revolutionaries. They're seeking to fight back for the people who can't fight back for themselves. And they don't have high-tech weapons like Israel. They don't have jet planes to bomb things and stuff like that. They don't have that. Most of their civilians don't go into the military and get military training like Israel. Might and power does not make difference, especially if it's used in an oppressive way. There's a better way, which is to try and understand the people you are dealing with and try to build relationships with them. And that's why the world is frowning on this. But a lot of people in leadership positions are dragging their feet on this issue. This should be a no-brainer. Before this even happened, before all of this genocide happened, people should have realized and started to deter Israel. That includes Joe Biden, who I will never vote for if I was an American citizen. I would never vote for that guy again. Fumbled the ball, big time. So I'm never going to vote for that guy again. And as to Donald Trump, I am never going to vote for him either. So you can forget about that. Those two are out. Whoever else is in the equation, I'll vote for that person. Because they both shown me they don't care about you and me. They don't. Neither of them. And I'm not voting for Robert Kennedy Jr. either. None of them. Now there's Bernie Sanders, who's been against this. There's been Cornel West. There's been the Squad. Those people, I'll vote for them any day of the week. I'll vote for them any day of the week. But I'm not voting for somebody who doesn't have a sense of humanity. I'm sorry. What you need in the building? So the weigh-in should happen any minute now. Or no, actually in about an hour or two more. We have to wait for the weigh-in. Because I want to see what happens with the weigh-in, and that will definitely certify everything. I'll know exactly what's going on after seeing the weigh-in. But shout out to everybody out there. I'm what you need. 37 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm going to get out of here. I got another place I got to go, so I'm going to be streaming another video somewhere else. It was nice talking to you guys. Don't forget you can donate via this channel, via PayPal. I'll try and put the link in the... I should have put it in the chat section, actually. Let me see if I can put it in the chat section right now so you guys can see it before I sign off. And feel free to always donate, man. I don't get any money from Google. I don't get from YouTube. So that's why I said free to donate to this channel via that. Okay. Let me just put this in here.
What you need in the building? So
That's just a recording of me. Don't worry yourself. Okay. After the weigh-in, I'll let you guys know exactly what I think. Benavidez has some for the Southboy years. Okay, so I'm putting it in the chat here. And then once this stream is over, you guys can... I wonder if I can pin it to the top. I pin this to the top? Yeah, okay. And once the stream is over, you guys can come through. And you can also... yeah, and you can also... there you go. There it is right there. Cool beans. You can also... I'm going to try, after the chat, I'm going to also put the link there so you can also click on it. All right? I'm going to catch you guys later. I am what you need. Peace, my brothers and sisters. Peace.